with DJ 𝐂𝐶VUM.
Hago una recoleta de chapa en el 15 que hoy vamos para los transformadores. No sé cómo una mata a ti te pone esa mente tan loca. Cuando ella me lo echó en la bebida, esa vaina a mí me subió la nota. No sé cómo una mata a ti te pone esa mente tan loca. Cuando ella me lo echó en la bebida, esa vaina a mí me subió la nota. Nota, 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 nota. Eso se llama té de campana. Eso se llama té de campana.
Riverside, motherfucker. Here we go. It's Friday and now my mic is on. Unfortunately, it's Friday because markets are nuking. You're going to hear people use the words like doom, I don't know, kind of exaggerations or plays on emotion. Those are not the right words. Doom is not the right words. Maybe more like we're just cooked. The short term, midterm, we're looking pretty cooked here. Pretty much the only hopium left at this point is that midterms are this year, and governments tend to try to pump markets into midterms. And God, we need it, right? Last year, we had a similar sell-off across markets in April, right at the start of April. It's possible our whole year looks similar again. Maybe right into the start of April. We saw that on the Liberation Day tariffs. God, so much bullshit has happened since then. We're pretty much lined up for almost an exact repeat. It would be interesting if into the start of April, we saw the low on markets and then we spent the next 6 months grinding back up. It would repeat exactly what we saw last year. We have been talking more and more about the top just being in for this cycle, and I'm not pointing really to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, it is obvious that our top was October last year. But I'm more really like calling attention to these other things like indices. We have again seen the S&P make a move, a Fibonacci extension. From 22 into 25, we hit the 2 or the measured move extension. You can see that right here. This year, from the correction of last year, we moved to the 1618, calling the top again. I mean, it's possible that we fly up for no reason. Anything's possible, but it's looking more and more like we are following really the same playbook. Something of note is that the moves that we've seen, these extensions, are actually getting smaller. Like I said, the 2 extension was the top in 25. Well, the top before the crash in 25. And now we're at the 1618. And this kind of brings us to a question of, are we going to continue to see this diminish? I'm actually making this up as I go, and it's pretty good. And I'm interested in my own answer. If we do see the diminishing of these extensions on the S&P, maybe we're looking for a bounce at 6,100, a slow return back to the highs over the year, into the end of the year, and maybe look for the 1414. This is a smaller extension than the 1618 and obviously the 2, and that would put us about 7,300 looking into the end of the year. It's an interesting way to look at this market. I don't think it's a bad way, but everything's falling into place here. Kind of interesting as well, I was talking about April 1st. If we see a low that lines up exactly with last year, we're also beginning to see the 50 and 200 day moving averages death cross. They're beginning to line up here as the 50 is very quickly and steeply moving down. Last year in April, that marked the bottom. We had the death cross at the bottom, as we have seen for some reason over the last few years. Death cross is marking bottoms on markets. I don't know. But that honestly looks almost exactly the same on the timing. S&P is hitting lower lows today after losing its 200 day, breaking under November's swing low at 65.28. And there's just very little argument here for anything other than continuing that move down. I can only imagine what, I'm just going to say, what bullshit Trump is going to tweet after markets close today. It seems to be his thing, especially when we have a big move. We've seen these weird Friday announcements that lead to very confusing trading, I guess, into the new weekend, obviously over the weekend for other assets. I can only imagine. It's going to be something. Like, mark my words. He's going to say something. It's just so predictable at this point. I think he even, let me see. Looking on CryptoCraft. Yep, there it is. I didn't even know. There it is. 5:30. Right after markets close. It's just so predictable at this point. I can only imagine what he will say. I can only imagine how long it will take him to say it and ramble and what BS is involved. But it certainly will move markets. At some point, you got to think that the effect wears off. Normally we would assume that, but it is coming from the President of the United States. Even the boy who cried wolf, if he was the President of the United States, people probably still listen to him. Still be wondering if there is a wolf out there. Or whatever the story was. I don't know. It's been a while. Bitcoin is just doing, honestly, it's like also predictable. Doing exactly what the cycle would look like if it was just like every other cycle. Here we are, repeating really similar price action to what we saw last year at the end of the year. Ascending channel, beginning to break down here. At this point, while I need to always say this every day, guys, I am a permanent bull. I'm a perma bull on Bitcoin. Bitcoin, I believe, in our lifetime, will just continue to move up and to the right. It has long periods of moving down. We see this predictably every 4 years. We're in the year that we would expect this to happen. We're falling down just like we've done. So when I say bearish things or look lower for prices, it is a short-term thing. I'm just really looking for them into the end of the year. My faith in Bitcoin, what makes Bitcoin great hasn't changed. The only thing is just a shifting environment around it, and it's, being predictable. I don't think that is really a bad thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. This is just par for the course. But it's looking damn similar, and I think the move for now is to be looking for some kind of short or just nothing. You don't have to make a move. Oftentimes, no choice, no trade is the best trade you can make. If I was looking for a trade, which maybe I am, I'm probably going to look for something similar to what we saw on the last fall, and that is a loss of the channel, a back test of the channel, failed high, and then an impulsive move down. At this point, that's probably looking something like this, a short in the 67-ish range. We're not too far off from there right now, 66. Target, man, what target would we even take here? The 200-week moving average is still looming just below us, or it should be. Right there. It's interesting that the 200-week is about to, by April, mid-April, hit about 60,000, which was our low in February. Something to keep an eye on. While there's a good chance, I would say, of bouncing from the 200, finding liquidity, if we see a move down over whatever amount of time into April, finding liquidity, but I don't think it's likely that will take us back to all-time highs. It is very likely going to be an event where we rope people back in thinking higher prices are coming. They don't. We trade sideways. We trade down into Q4, and then we find a bottom. Until we deviate from that schematic, we'll call it, there's really no reason to be looking for anything else on Bitcoin. Like it really... Until it proves otherwise, we've said this about fractals. It's like, until we see it deviate, there's no point of saying, like, let's look for something else, because it is following a path close enough that it's the best answer as to what is to come. And then when it deviates, we can plan and we can trade and we can make positions based on the deviation. Something like that. So, man, that 200 week is at 60K. Let's see. Let's get ugly. Let's get real ugly. The last move brought us below the 2. Not quite to the 3. Maybe look at the 2. Brings us about 50K. 47. 47 and change. It's not really an uncomfortable number. It's not very fun, but it's not very uncomfortable, at least I think. I think 50K breaking, I'm not really sure if that would impact sentiment. Sentiment is already, I would say, historically low in the space. At least that's checked off. At least, it's like we can't really get much more beaten down. We're pretty beaten down. My guess is we can see more trading to the downside today. Certainly possible. Whatever Trump says later today, we see into the weekend a little float up. Probably looking for a short position over the weekend. I hate shorting Bitcoin, but all my longs have not been paying since October. So shorts it is, I suppose. Get these tunes on. Oil, the only thing doing okay. Doing okay. Not looking phenomenal, but certainly performing better than everything else. We have our flat top presenting. Oil looks like it wants to trade back to about that 100 level. Our lows are ascending. Can easily get a higher low. Look for a long there. Trade back to the highs. I think oil is pretty much the only long, maybe the dollar. The only long I can imagine here for a little bit. It does not seem like we're going to get any closer to a resolution here or a fix to the oil issue. And I think that means it's a long until we do. I don't think we're any closer to a resolution with the Strait of Hormuz. I don't think we're any closer to some kind of event that lowers the price of oil. I don't think we're getting closer here. If anything, I think maybe we're like digging our ditch deeper. So at least in my mind, oil is the long, and almost anything else you can name that bounces is likely the short for the next, maybe just into the end of the month. We'll see if that can reverse in April. Oil actually red for the week here. Not the prettiest candles, but you can see nice bottom wicks here. Buyers are taking these prices, even if they're not able to push it quite to the green yet. They're still taking it. Huge power underneath it. The dollar, honestly, at this point, I think the dollar is looking for higher highs. It does not seem to quit, and it lines up with pretty much everything else getting crapped on. Downward pressure in markets coming from a strengthening dollar. The strengthening of the dollar likely tied to the oil, right? The petrodollar flexing on oil gains. Speaking of flexing on oil gains. Oh man, did a lot of moving yesterday, and then I went to the gym this morning. I can see, as I've been saying, the dollar trading up to 103 this year, which I will say has blindsided me again. The dollar always blindsides me. Anytime I think I know what it's going to do, it does the opposite. I would have thought certainly we'd be trading lower as we were breaking lower lows over the last year. But here we are retesting 100, holding on to the lows, and with no end in sight for the oil pump, man, I guess we're going to see the dollar move. I hope I'm wrong about this. I've been wrong a lot in the past on the dollar. Hope I'm wrong about this one. Something tells me I'm not, though. I'm not expecting something like all-time highs on the dollar. Maybe return to 103, continue a lower high streak. If something else happens, like something crazier than what's currently happening, maybe 107, retest that descending trend for another lower high, and then spend your time trickling back down. Man, the last year and this year are just going not at all how I thought they would maybe a few years ago. The one thing that is good and solid, though, is that Bitcoin is behaving, even though maybe not up as much as we would like. It is behaving really predictably. We saw it top out Q4 of last year. It's doing as it's done in these fourth year of the 4-year cycles. Very similar to 2022, very similar to, well, not quite similar, but very similar to like 2018. That predictability is an opportunity for profit. Not only is it a opportunity for profit, it's also opportunity to find solid entries. You know, if we're on this really fixed cycle still, we're looking for a bottom in Q4. Maybe we get a little later, a little sooner. I would say if we have another leg down, which looks very likely, I think it's time to start buying. Bitcoin at 50K, I'll throw some money in. Probably wouldn't have thought that back in August, September of 25, that I would be buying at 50K. I'd probably be like, I want it lower. But I think that's the time to start. I do now. I have a feeling, just like last cycle, when we fell to 15K, 16K, everyone thought one more leg down. One more leg down. One more We're gonna go to 10K. We're at 15. We're gonna go to 10. I have a feeling whatever next leg we get may take a long time to recover, but that low will be the one where people say, okay, there's one more low left. We're gonna buy as soon as we have one more drop down, and then the drop down doesn't come. I think the bear market will end exactly that way, exactly as it did last time. Waiting for that like one more discount after you're already down whatever, like 70% from your high, and it's like one more. Similar to, I'll call myself out, similar to me in 25 saying I think we have one more leg up, and then I think the bull run's over. That leg never came. We got scammed. Oh man, markets are eating it though. Robinhood breaking down. Robinhood hit all-time highs in October of last year. Hit 151. Now breaking down from this distribution area in the $75 mark. This looks bad. You fell, back tested that previous all-time high, and nuked. You're nuking. You guys know I don't like sensationalism when it comes to trading and videos. I don't like being bearish at all, but my God, what is bullish right now? I'll tell you what's bullish. Bond yields, baby. Let's go. The dollar, bond yields, and oil. 10-year breaking up again. Hitting 4.485 today. Every time the 10-year has moved significantly, we've had some kind of reversal on something going on from the US's side. Some kind of emergency. Oh no. Oh shit. Something that is interesting. This actually is interesting, is I believe at this point, bonds have unverted. The 2-year now hitting a high of 4% this week, while the 10-year 4.48, so 50 beeps higher. I think yields are finally back uninverted. I need to do so much a deep dive on these yields. Like, I get the premises, I get some of it, but something weird happened here. Like, here we go. The 2-year finally at 3.9, the 5-year at 4, the 10-year at 4.5. Like, we're finally uninverted. We were inverted for a very long time. That was supposed to be like recession. It never came. Wow. Actually, the 5-year looks exactly like the 10-year. The 5-year looks like it's going to explode. The 5-year and 10-year want to explode. That's what the market's seeing higher inflation over the next 5 to 10 years. That's crazy bullish, dude. 2018 hits all-time low. Boom. Flag. Boom. Boom. We're all cooked. We're cooked. Honestly, I think that future playing out is the most bullish scenario for Bitcoin. It's hard to even talk about bullish scenarios for Bitcoin right now. It seems so far away, but I believe they are on the horizon. They might be out of sight for now, but if we keep heading east, if we keep heading east on the charts, we'll see it. It'll show up. What's up, Nemo? You keep missing streams. I know, I've been doing them early. I made this commitment to myself that I would start getting up early and going to the gym every day, and I've been doing it. And at that point, it's like, well, I'm up, and my brain is awake. I've gotten my exercise in. Why not just stream now? Also, we had daylight savings time in the U.S., which messed it up. And then I think Europe is having daylight savings time. Why are we doing that shit still? But they're gonna have theirs, so everybody's thrown off. Ooh, little burps. What's up, David B? My guy, what's up? Eyeballing Circle. I think I just closed Circle earlier. Nope, I didn't. 64? You're doing 68. I think 64 is the play. We called a lot of tops here, which is very strange. In the history of this channel, we've been good at calling bottoms at times. We longed the bottom, called the bottom Bitcoin in 2022. But tops, missed the Bitcoin top. But tops we haven't called many of, and this cycle it all is just falling together for me, I guess. Circle. We looked at this live on Wednesday or Monday, and we're like, yeah, this is it. Reversing. Since then, it's gone straight down. I can see a play at 64. You have a big gap here. You do have some meaningful support built by this flat top, whatever you want to call it, breakout. I wouldn't look for all-time highs on Circle from 64, but I think there's a solid play. Like, you go back to 100, that's solid. You look at the 64 to 100, and what do you have? You have a high to a low back to the golden Fibonacci retracement. The 618 sits right there at 100. It's a beautiful number. It's a great place to have a lower high. I don't know why, but I'm not bullish on Circle. Maybe I'm just not really bullish on stocks. They seem to be like altcoins, with some exception. They seem to be like altcoins. Like, they have two paths, really. It's like they blow up and they get really big, and IPOs, we see that. And then they just bleed out forever with lower highs. Or they're like the SPX, like Bitcoin. They just move up into the right, retrace up into the right. And the majority of them I look at look like Circle. They just look like shit. They just look like stuff that never wants to trade at all-time high again. It reinforces a concept that I've been aware of, but maybe struggled to put my finger on in crypto. Like, firmly on. The concept basically is when something begins trading at a really high value, it's negative for the long term. It's limiting for the long term. When you'll see this with like airdrops. Airdrops are a great example in crypto. They tend to start hot and then bleed out forever. Just an example. And then on the other side, things that start at very low values tend to have these great long horizons. For example, Bitcoin. Bitcoin may be the best example of it ever. Bitcoin started trading at virtually zero. It slowly built, quickly built, over time up to the price it's at now. Even if we're annoyed with it and whatever, it built from zero. And there's some fundamental connection. I should come up with a name for this. I've never heard other people talk about this. There's some fundamental connection between the origin of price and the long-term outlook. I think there's logic there. Yeah, well, if people buy something, if people get in early, those are likely the strongest believers. They're buying in high and they're trapped, and so you're punishing your strongest believers, which is toxic long-term, especially if it never goes back to those highs. Those people get, they get frustrated, they get fed up, they sell, and now your strongest believers are out. Bitcoin is the perfect example of the opposite. The strongest believers, obviously, you go back, you get stronger and stronger believers. Those people have only been rewarded, and it even shows with us. It even shows with like people who haven't been in that long. If you started in 2021, provided you didn't buy the exact top, you're still green. If you started in 2017, like a lot of people did, it doesn't matter when you buy, you're still in the green with Bitcoin. So you're rewarding those holders, and what you're doing is by rewarding them, you're increasing their wealth, but you're reinforcing that belief. And those people, probably like myself, many out there, continue to buy the asset. I wouldn't continue to buy the asset if I bought a stock and it just went down forever. No matter how much I believed in it, eventually I would just be like, I'm out. That's a good rant. I've never heard anyone talk about that concept. It's a reason I get so kind of anxious when I see charts begin trading and blast up like this. It's not just Circle, anything, altcoins, whatever. It's like, when I see this, it's like, man, I wouldn't go near that. A really good example in crypto that's not, I guess it was an airdrop technically. Here's a really great example in crypto. This chart is so familiar to all of us. We've all seen this happen. And it's funny because we still fall for it. We still, like, there's, even myself, there's times where I'm like, well, maybe it is going to keep going. But the more something looks like this when it begins, the more it seems to do this afterwards. And when you invert it, this is kind of the other way. It's like, if you don't count this big green candle here. When something starts low and slowly grinds up, it seems to keep going. It's an interesting topic. It'll be studied by scientists forever. For 1,000,000 years. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna get to the chat soon. What's up, Janix, my guy? There's a lot of good people here. Pickle. Uncle Pickle. Waffle Cones. One Nito. Ooh, casual mining. Everyone's like, Tom Crow's being bearish. I don't even want to be here. Here's a great example. Coin. Another great trade. Calling the top here. Dude, this was one of the best trades we've had in the last year. Last 12 months. Coin from 100, 210, short 210, reverse. Boom. The problem, I think, with coin is I think it's going to go break its low now. The reason I was bearish is all these tests of 150. Sorry, 150, not 100. Tests of 150 of support. Finally losing momentum. The problem is I think if it retests 150, we're going to see lower prices. We're finally going to break this, and that's going to look ugly. You do have strong support at 115. It's pretty damn strong support at 115. You can see lots of connection there, lots of touches. You know, maybe this is a good thing. I was just talking about how when something starts off high and moving down. Yeah, no, that's not good. Never mind. Take it back. My brain was wandering. 115, I guess we'll see. We'll see what happens there. But if I had taken, which I wish I had, shared this with everybody, I didn't take this, the short at 210 on coin, maybe you still stick with the plan and you TP at 150, but like I think there's opportunity to hold this down farther. This high is so weak. Coming off of this move, dude, that is so bad. Congrats to anybody who took that trade. You're printing. You're printing while everything else is just shitting itself. Damn. Congrats. Circle. What else we got? Tesla. You know, I kind of think tops are in for markets. And so I don't think the long here on Tesla is a good idea anymore. I'm not going to delete it. It's still solid enough to keep up. It has, you know, the analysis is there, the chart is there. Maybe it should be relooked. Maybe the stop tighter, and then another trade down here, 295. But if the top is in for like all markets, we shouldn't be looking to long things near all-time highs. This originally was placed earlier. Actually, it was placed, I think, when this broke out, back in September of last year. Dude, the top is in for all markets, and Bitcoin, again, front ran everything. It topped out first, everything else followed it, and everything looks exactly the same. It's honestly wild that could be reality, that the exact same shit is playing out. Actually, you know, I kind of like this trade. I just don't know if I like it back to all-time high. Maybe I'll try to take this 358. See, Femex, BYDFi, our exchange partners. Let's see which one of them has a Tesla pair. I'm feeling they do. And of course, I'm logged out. Of course, I'm logged out of all of them. Can I even log in right now? Might not be able to. Every time I try to log into this thing live, I get like frustrated. Oh gosh, I just want to keep my account safe. Look at that. Oh, you want to just be so safe. Futures. I've been doing so little trading lately. It is okay to not trade all the time. It's actually the mark of the smartest Tesla. Well, Femex has it. Risk warning. Risk! I should have read that. I'm being bad. Not bad short. Not bad short. You would think it'd be more than 300% ROI. 10x? 93.66? If only I'd gone all in, right? Let's see where this is at. 360. It got so close today. Dang, it actually traded under there yesterday on here. You got to remember the liquidity is very different for these. Yeah, that's probably what the warning said. Liquidity is very different for these versus traditional markets. You're liable to see prices higher or lower. Man. I missed it. 360.1, 360. Across. Isolated. 10x. So 10x would put my lick where? 323. Okay. Got it. I hope this fills. Look at me being a little retailer. Like, this is not gonna fill. Okay. Let's do risk 500. Risk 500. 60. Where do I want this stop? Now that makes me want to open down here instead. You see the death cross coming? I feel a really typical play here would be like death cross happens while you're like here and then you're done. So I gotta make the stop tighter. That's the answer. 337. Still have this short at 106. I guess I could cancel that. What was it? 3. 38, something like that. 61%. Do that. And TP 413. It's like 2.5 to 1. Take that. Conditional order request failure. How did that work? Figure it out later. There we go, though. Placed it. I'll take it. Do they have coin? Damn it. I could have taken the coin on Femex, too. Rip. Keep an eye there. Alright. Place the trade. I'll pull up the chat. Sorry I've been ignoring you guys. I never ignore you. Could never. Tau, dude, Tau feels so... It feels so dirty. It feels like every other time something is pumped while the market's bearish and people hyped it up and then it just wrecked everybody. Gold? Yeah, bro. Hells to the yeah, gold. Technologic. Low time frame looks good. I thought this was the daily for a second. Low time frame looks good. Lows are coming up. Top is flattening. but that's on the 5 minute. So Lord knows. Let's zoom out. Gold has not recovered in the fashion I thought it would this far. I thought we were going to see it float up quicker. It did test the 200 day. I'm still short-term bullish on gold. I think though midterm I'm bearish. I don't think gold. I don't think gold is. I don't know. At least not until later in the year. I don't think gold is going back. Maybe like Q4. I don't know. You get like 6 months of chilling on gold. Oil price is keeping gold down. Oh yeah. Why? So what? What relationship do you see there, Pickle? Was it like dating Britney Spears? Well, I ruined the tour. Britney's having a hard time. It's weird though, guys. I don't know why. Like when I was younger, people used to tell me I looked like Justin Timberlake. Maybe I'll find you guys an old picture. I think I looked more like him at some point. But then maybe the last like 10 years, like virtually nobody has said that. And then in the last 2 weeks, I've had like a dozen people say that, like in real life, unprompted, not like the internet. I don't know. It's weird. Oil gold correlation. Sure. I don't know. What is it? Maybe, is it just because Justin Timberlake is kind of back in the news? Do you think people are thinking about him again? What is it? He is back in the news. Oil gold. Oil gold. Oh, I did Bitcoin oil. Bitcoin oil. This is actually a cool chart. We have looked at this before. That wick makes this chart real crappy like. Oil gold. The drunk version. I mean, I'm not drunk, so that's not very nice. Not yet, baby. It's Friday. He was getting sloppy. He was getting sloppy this weekend. I would like to, because I've been moving all week. Bros, I did so much moving yesterday. But the good news is that I think, minus like the big furniture, and obviously the stream station, I'd say it's probably like 20% left, maybe not even. And the big furniture, like I'm gonna have movers do it. Like I'm not gonna move my my washing machine or something. I'm gonna have actual movers do it. It's because I've been taking off my glasses. Yeah, but people in real life have been saying it for some reason. Did you guys watch his DUI video? Why was that public? Like that? Like I don't know, man. Rich dude, rich famous guy. Like, you know, I'm not gonna white knight for him. But why was that public? That just seems weird. Like it wouldn't be public if you and I did it. It seems like a little fucked up, but whatever. So anything you think about watching me? Maybe it is the beard. Maybe it's the eyes. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. It's over. I'll hold you, Nito. I'll hold you. You guys gotta hold me too. Oil gold. Oil gold. Yeah, that is an interesting chart that I don't think I've really looked at. Oil gold retouched, I'll say, the monthly support from 2020 crash. Unless gold goes like negative, you know, it ain't never coming down to these wicks. Well, I guess unless oil goes negative again. A weird chart. Very, I guess not very, I was gonna say very tight range, but not really. I think 1,300% from even just that monthly close to here. I can't use the wick. I refuse to use the wick. Mostly because it's in the negatives. And so negatives and Fibonacci don't think play well together. No. You gotta get to zero to even get to the retracement. Do I buy silver? No. I did. You know, not financial advice, but I did tell you guys to take profit on silver at 122. That's all I'm gonna say. Actually, I've had a really great track record this year. Really great track record this year of telling people to book profits. There you go. These tweets got virtually zero engagement, but nonetheless, late January, lock in profits on gold and silver today. February 19th, lock in profits on S&P. Like we've had quite a year here. Quite a year. Yeah, I'm getting distracted from oil gold. So, how much gold does it take to buy an oil? Oh, I gotta change the music because this is about to end. I've been playing this same DJ. He comes out with a new mix every day. He must be doing it. He must be AI. I don't know. But DJ 𝐒𝐈𝐉, who doesn't really own this music, let's be fair. He made the mixes, but it's other people's music. Let's put on another one. 2 weeks ago. Okay, yeah. When this is moving down. Why am I struggling with this right now? Oil is losing value against gold. What's up? Gold is gaining value against oil. No, those are the same things. BTC USD. Oh, because it's on the month. That's why it's confusing me. Yes. Oil outpacing gold when it's moving up. That looks solid. I mean, that's a flag. So I always say I don't trust flags in crypto, and I don't. I think they're traps more often than they actually play out as they should as a flag. To the upside or downside. But I do trust flags. Typically, when it comes to pairs, especially pairs that aren't traded, they tend to follow patterns better for whatever reason, probably manipulation reasons. This flag looks pretty good. It does look like oil is going to continue to gain over gold. Now, that could describe a scenario that as this year goes on, oil continues to increase in value. That's pretty logical. While gold either stays sideways, moves down, or increases slower than oil. Or it could describe a situation where gold really loses value and oil doesn't move that much. Either way, it does look like it wants to make a pretty big move here. Let's multiply this by a bajillion to make the chart give us more decimals. Here we go. The reason I do that, by the way, is if you don't do it for things that are really low, like decimal-wise, it will sometimes distort the charts. Not always, but sometimes it will make the charts unusable and you'll get bad data. Because they're just like, it can't do the math. Let's see. Oil, 66% gain against gold. Back to the 618. This is a clear breakout, though. That's a pretty clear breakout. You do have a double top at the moment, but that flag here, the higher low pullback is just, I think is like a very, very, very good sign that it's going to continue to break out. 66% gain against gold. So let's assume gold doesn't move. Let's see what a 66% gain on oil does. 150, 160. Now that oil is, kind of more convincingly putting it at bottom here. 156. You have to be careful though, because I swear this is exactly the way that gold and silver looked when they fell. You even have like the M shape coming in, right? No M here. Painted the M. Tried and failed. This was so strong until something here. Something like Monday, March 16th. Something broke. At the moment, though, I think oil is the strongest asset to look for along that, or the dollar or bond yields. And I think almost everything else could be looked for a hedge short. All police squad and body footage camera. Pay for it. Some reporter for TMZ paid for it. Well, you know what? That's a harder question. That's a harder question, Nimoy, because I do agree that that body camera footage should be public. If it's not public, there's no point of it. Yeah, that's a hard question. But because at the same time, I wouldn't want that public if it was me. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's a tough one. You need it to be public, or else it's not protecting anyone. The answer is don't get a DUI, don't drink and drive, which is crazy. Like, how is someone as rich as Justin Timberlake driving himself around drunk? Bro, get a fucking Uber or get a driver, but get an Uber. Like, I'm not rich like Justin Timberlake, and I don't drive drunk. I just take an Uber. They're not. I don't know why you wouldn't. What are you doing? Take an Uber and then pay someone to go pick up your car or something. Even like, it's crazy. Yeah, you don't, but it's necessary. It's necessary. If you don't have that, if that is not public, then it will serve no purpose other than to just like harm people. Like, it won't help. It will not help. Will not help people. Crypto's going to zero. That's a little too bearish for me, 𝐒𝐈𝐆𝐸𝐾. Am I also trading on Polymarket? No. Well, I'm in the US, and actually, I think I just got a text that like I was accepted on the wait list. Like I was on the wait list and then I got accepted by Polymarket US. I honestly, prediction markets guys, I think are like a scam. It's just like trading, but I think with worse odds. I think the only way to appropriately use these markets is to arbitrage between them. And I think outside of that, and in this age right now, I think they're just like sports betting, man. How do you make money? Give you advice? Stop trading. I'm playing. It feels like it. I agree. We've been following all those weird the cryptic messages on X Dude now. I'm trying not to. Exciting announcement tomorrow. Announcing the announcement. Taking a page out of our book. Now soon, bro. What bullshit? I started the stream with it. What bullshit is Trump gonna tweet or say today after market close to manipulate it? Like, markets are closing down. He's gonna say something in an attempt to like pump them up into Monday. Like, it's wild. It's a joke. It's getting to the point where it does feel as if it might not make sense for people to play markets anymore. Insider trading is stealing. I tweeted this the other day. It's stealing. You're using privileged information to profit, and that profit comes from somewhere, from people without that privileged information. And it's easy to dismiss because there isn't a direct person who's like, hey, you stole my money by doing that, like directly. But it is the bigger picture, and you can say, but that's okay. It always happens. Yeah, it's always happened, and we shouldn't allow it because it's stealing from us. The more it happens, it has greater consequences than just like stealing. It makes an unfair market. If markets aren't fair, then people shouldn't participate in them, and likely won't. They'll stop. It's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in one day, but it's going to push people away from markets because it will eventually just be donating your money directly to the people with insider information. That's crazy. We need to lock everybody up. Lock up Pelosi, lock up Trump, lock them all up. All these people, dude. It's just like the files. Lock them all up. Why is that hard? Why is that hard to say? Or quit drinking. True. But, you know. Christopher Stars. What's up, Christopher? Good to see you, man. Ace of Hearts. Rich doesn't make you smart. No. In fact, no, oftentimes the opposite. Gold, silver, oil, long-term buys. You know, I don't know about that, man. I might disagree with that. I might disagree with that. You look back on the history of gold and silver, and if you were to have bought at the equivalent times in the past where they've had these crazy runs, you wouldn't have broken even for decades. Decades. Now, there's no way to know for sure if that's that's what's happening again, because nobody saw this coming except for us. We saw it coming. There's a clip of us saying gold is going to go parabolic and double. I was like, it doesn't make. I feel crazy saying it. We knew. No, we didn't know, but we did predict it. If you had done the equivalent, right, like run up, bought gold in the 80s, you would not have broken even if you bought the exact top, which is, whatever, for 27 years. If you had done the same, bought the top in 2011, you would have only had to wait 9 years. 27, 9, but do the math in your head. Gold and silver seem to be like all assets. They seem to be good buys when people aren't paying attention to them and people are sleeping on them, underrating them, underestimating them, saying they're not good investments, they're slow, they haven't done anything in 10 years. Very counterintuitive. But you go back and you look at its rallies and it's like, not great. Not great. I would rather buy gold and silver, though, that being said, more than, I don't know, like Robinhood or some dumb shit. Some stock. Yeah. Circle. I'd rather buy gold and silver than Circle. I think like the real issue is that this market, it's just like, it doesn't really seem like anything is the good move. Because yes, I think oil is going to continue higher. I think that, the conflict's not done. I think oil will push 150 a barrel. I think oil will push like whatever that breaking point is for us, and then we'll figure it out. All of a sudden, we'll figure it out. But even in that scenario, I don't think oil is going to stay there. I think it's going to go there and top out like we see on other assets like gold and silver and Bitcoin and whatever. I think it'll blow off top. And then I think it'll trickle back down. And so that makes it maybe not a great hold. So what is the hold? And I don't know. Bitcoin, probably. Probably Bitcoin. This hyperinflationary scenario and high like energy prices, I think is the environment for Bitcoin. It's just never that satisfying correlation of like, oh, well, if now's the time, then it'll pump. But I want it to pump because things will go, no. Might wait till everything is dumped. Might wait until like everything is crapped, including Bitcoin, and then it just recovers faster, moves higher. And that's what we've seen over the history. You look back at March of 2020, Bitcoin dropped first. It crashed the hardest of everything other than probably oil spot, which went negative. And then it rallied the most. People are loving saying things like, well, the S&P outperformed Bitcoin. And what they're doing is they're doing this. They're going from a very cherry-picked time. They're saying from October or from September or from whatever, like from the highs to today, almost everything is outperformed Bitcoin because Bitcoin's outperformed everything to the downside. It's fallen 50%. But if they're being honest or trying to be intelligent or making a point that is relevant, they should be measuring from March. They should be measuring from the lows. They should be measuring from 22. They should be measuring from March of 2020, even December of 18. And when you compare it that way, virtually nothing has outperformed it. It's just this negative sentiment thing going on. And we're all victim of it. I feel it too. It feels like everything has outpaced us. But Bitcoin did, over the course of 3 years, go almost 1,000%. Not many things can make that claim. Breaking this, Dixie, dude, I think the dollar's moving to like 103. I don't see this. I'm so bad at the dollar. It's my worst chart. It's like the least successful for me in history. I think it's gonna break 100. This looks strong. It looks, honestly, if you invert if you invert the dollar, this to me, this looks like, I'll say like Coinbase right now. You have like your highs moving up, but you have a flat bottom. You keep retesting them. Now you have a lower high again. You're going to look to retest it again and I think fall down. You look at Coinbase. This is what I'm talking about. You have multiple tests here. You came back. You get a lower high. I think you're coming down. I think the dollar has more upside. I don't like it. Seems to be related to oil. I guess that makes sense. I don't like it. It puts downward pressure on everything. Likely everything's going to be pushed down farther. I don't see a way around it. It seems like everything's nuking. They're going to print it sometime. I mean, they always have been. They've never stopped printing it. That's the trick. Huh. I haven't looked at Bitcoin divided by money supply in a while. Quite an interesting place to close. Not a lot going on there. Here we go. They must have modified this data because my fib has moved. That's annoying. Yeah, it's close enough. Back in April of 20, so last year, exactly a year ago, we were looking at this. I tweeted that the M2 supply was going to go to 22.9 trillion. Just looked at the measure move from the high to low. 22.67, we're almost there. It's an easy bet. This never goes down. I like how I say this never goes down, and then right in front of you is a period of it going down from 22 to 25. But if you zoom out, it never really has happened before. This is the first time, like, ever there is a noticeable retracement of the M2 supply. You go back and you'll find little dips, little areas, but none of them were like a meaningful retracement like this for multiple years. You'll get like some sideways here. Like this was a meaningful sideways period from 91 to 95. But this is the ultimate bull chart. Up to the right. Up and to the right. It'll never stop. I don't think it'll stop here at 22.9 either. M2SL. This is what we're on. We're on M2SL, my friend, Mr. Wick. How are you, bro? You're going to the Bitcoin conference, aren't you? What do we have? February's data. All right. Look at that. Look at this increase, though. A whole % in a month. You do that again, and we're here at 22.9 trillion in March. 0.3. It's accelerating. You guys see that? I know it's hard to see visually, but the M2 supply is actually accelerating. Let's see, May of 25, 0.25, 0.5. I'm rounding. 0.255. 0.37. 0.3. 0.38. 0.36. So steady. 0.2. It was like decelerated a little bit in November. And then 0.4. 0.4. 0.88. Almost a whole %. That's huge. The next print of M2SL could be very important. It's interesting if it's a really important print crossing 2.9 trillion. It'd be really weird. Nothing stops that choo-choo train. Wifey wants to stay home with the puppies. Good. Good. I'm not going either, bro. Don't go. And go if you want. A lot of people got free tickets in our community. I'm sure people want to go. Like after the last one, I remember I think like hundreds of people claimed free tickets from our community, and it was gonna be cool to like have a meetup, but I'm not going. Dixie BTC. Okay. Dead inside. Okay. Reminding me of some good charts of the past I haven't looked at in a while. Appreciate that, especially on Friday. I don't think I've opened this since last year. Let's see what I was looking at back here. Testing the old all-time high zone. Currently is, yeah. That's what's interesting about this price on Bitcoin in general. You know, we have the previous all-time high and March's high. This whole structure. Like, that's a lot of support. That's a lot of resistance, a lot of volume overturned hands. Fortunately, it looks really similar. The chart is different coming down this time. Bitcoin on the way up has never printed support like this. Like, never. It always just moved up. We do have some like support that we've never had. Bitcoin against Dixie, like I do like this chart, but it doesn't look any different to me than just Bitcoin USD. The same thing is going on. The moves are, I'll say they're kind of more interesting. They're cleaner. Like this week's high came back open, tested last week's high before rejecting. It is not bully. This does not look bullish. Just like BTC USD does not look bully. Here's my %. Impeachment coming for protest after the midterms. It does look that way, doesn't it? It does feel that way. The SAVE Act was not passed. Congress adjourned. That's good. I'm all good with voter ID. That's good. But if you're going to require a certain type of ID to vote, you have to give everyone that ID in advance. Like you have to give everyone. You have to send everyone that ID. And it has to have like enough time that everybody gets it. You can't just say, okay, everybody needs this, we're voting next week. That's a poll tax, and it's super obviously like trying to disenfranchise the US voters. Super obviously. Also, it's like an issue. It's a solution chasing a problem that doesn't exist. There are more pedophiles' names in the Epstein files than there are fraudulent votes cast probably in the last, I don't know how many decades. Like you look at any source, there's incredibly few fraudulent votes cast. There's like, for a percentage, there's 0% of votes are fraudulently cast. It is obviously higher than 0, but it's like way lower. It's not a problem. The big problem for me when it comes to requiring a certain type of ID too, especially without shipping them out, is what you're doing is you're preventing real US citizens from voting more than you are preventing fraudulent votes. You're obviously trying to disenfranchise voters. You're trying to not let them vote. It isn't about voting security. It isn't. It is what it is. But yeah, that's going to be an interesting setup. That looks like what's going to happen. Even Poly Market, it's like pretty. The money's there. Like $1. You buy oil when a Republican leaves office and a Dem's coming in. It worked out good so far. Interesting. I wonder what that looks like. It's a poll tax, absolutely. It's a poll tax and it's anti-democracy. It's completely anti-democracy. Way off on the voting issues, but that's okay. You don't have to agree with me. But it is. It is. I don't want to argue with anybody about it. If you want that, then just send everybody IDs. Then it's fine. Then I have no issue. Then it's good. We'll move on. 2,000 cases since 1980 in 40 years. 2,000 cases. They gave illegal immigrants IDs for free. Well, I mean, like, that's why they're saying you need a certain type of ID. If you know that ID that like proves you are, proves you're American. Jake Clavers, who's that? Has a liquidity measure for XRP instead of market cap. Pretty interesting. All you have to do is look at XRP's chart. Doesn't matter. No matter what, like liquidity or market cap, it doesn't matter. Like, look at the chart. This has been the perpetual rug. I don't know why people. It's like buying Trump coin. I don't know why people are buying Trump coin. It did hit the 200 week in February. I think XRP is going back to 50 cents, honestly. And it's going to retrace like the entire move. I was even excited for XRP for the first time ever in like 24. I was rooting for it. I did sell almost all my XRP though, so at $2, that's aging better now. Bitcoin dominance right now. For some reason, Bitcoin dominance is breaking down, and I'm not sure where that's going. Not really sure how that's happening. We do live in an oligarchy, I'd say is correct. Kleptocracy, I think, is a better word. It's an oligarchy, but like by the rich. Yeah. Bitcoin dominance minus Tether has been in this downtrend. It was looking decent earlier in this month. Now it's retesting the lows with Bitcoin's price. It's interesting that dominance is falling with Bitcoin USD. As dominance rose with Bitcoin USD in the last cycle, this cycle, whatever you want to call it. Now it's falling as Bitcoin falls. It's setting up for like another cycle where dominance bottoms and Bitcoin begins to climb up, and so does dominance, and alts get brutalized again. Bitcoin better than tulips? Absolutely. First of all, tulips are just flowers that will wither and rot. Bitcoin doesn't wither and rot. Bitcoin is much better preserved. I don't hate XRP. I don't hate XRP. That's not true. Absolutely, you can look at XRP BTC. I don't hate XRP. I will be open. In the past, I have. When I was newer in crypto. Back in the early days. Yeah, I did. I thought they were the enemy. But over time, I've grown, that they're no more the enemy than plenty of other things. One thing I do hate Ripple the company. They put out tons of like anti-Bitcoin propaganda. They spend money on it. It's weird. I don't like them for that. I think it's shitty. And kind of pointless. Like they're beating up like they're like picking on the kid who can't speak for itself. It's like very bullyish. It's like to what end are you looking? Really in the same spot with Bitcoin, XRP, BTC. Until proven otherwise, you're just testing this support. Your highs are coming down. It suggests a downward move. There's a lot of potential area for that move as well. I think a 50% retracement to quad 01, this would be an opportunity for buying likely. On the way up, you were incredibly inefficient. This is where all the FOMO was. Super inefficient. So you've left yourself a big void. Once you start piercing it, you can see it move down pretty quick. XRP can change that outcome by simply breaking two higher highs. Break your highs here, break out of your descending trend. You can reverse that. But probability in my book leans downward until proven otherwise. More bankers sold Bitcoin than XRP these days. It's yeah, they're very good at They're very good at marketing, or I don't know. They clearly are good at community, because the XRP community has existed through all of this, through all of it. There was still, and I will give XRP props for this, there was still XRP community here before it pumped. And it caught all these new investors, these new buyers, and just did the same thing that they've always done to the new buyers. It's not just XRP either. Like, honestly, had you bought XRP, you probably, even though you're down 60% from the all-time high, you're probably better than than most altcoins. You probably did better than like 99% of them are likely down more than that from their high. XRP is Ross Chaz. Ripple derangement syndrome. I'll take it, man. These derangement syndromes, they seem to be aging well. No, I don't like. There's coins I think that are way shittier. Anything that is just flat out rugged, like went to zero. These celebrity coins. Something like Hex. I think Hex is worse. Yeah, no, it's not the enemy. They're not the big enemy. I wish they would just stop fighting Bitcoin. Like, why? It does not help you. It's weird. Tulips are still traded, Cranberry. People still trade tulips. Tulips are still grown and sold and never ended. 𝐂𝐡𝐚𝐫𝐭, exactly. Kanye. Remember before Kanye made a coin, I said Kanye will make a coin. I said Kanye will come out with a coin and it will rug, and then he came out with a coin like 6 months later and he rugged it. Hilarious. Oh my God, Ben. I wonder if that's even traded anymore. Do you think it's traded anymore? How is he doing? I have no idea. I have not a clue. I have not heard from him. Let me. What was it? Ben, just Ben coin? Looks like, so they went to a different version of it. I will say that not even CoinMarketCap will track the price. That's a bad sign. Looks like the original is at 1.6 million market cap. Irrelevant. And then it's like version 2, I guess, is at 317k market cap. Likely the reason that this is at any market cap is because you just simply can't sell it anywhere. Like, you probably can only sell it on a DEX, and I assume it has no liquidity. DEX mode, what does that mean? There we go. July of 25 is when that happened? No. It's down 100%, says CoinMarketCap. Yeah, I don't know, dude. Bad news. Wonder why it says there's news about it. That's weird. Yeah, so here you go. This was shittier than this. I hate this more than XRP. More than, I don't know, even more than Hex maybe. 100%, just 100%. It added 3 zeros. So that's how that's going. It's going. Others down. You have $50 worth of Ben? I mean, I think you have $0 worth of Ben. I bought, I put like $100 into it or something. I don't know what it's worth. I don't care. Just burned. You want to look at Others D, King Peasant? You would want to look at Others D. Used to be a top 5% holder of XRP. That's crazy, Dave. That's crazy. Solana, I haven't looked at Solana a little bit. Others D. Others dominance has rallied this year. 10%. You guys, I was looking at Others D. Oh, this looks bad. It looks bad. I mean, I can see short-term upside, but this looks bad. Looks bad. Over low. Dude, what happened in October? Are we ever going to find out? Like, something crazy happened in crypto. Somebody did something. I know Binance did some, like, you know, shenanigans. But, like, what was the extent of the shenanigans? I hope we find out someday. I can see others D erecting, rallying. A few percent. God, I got this haircut and it's so short. And I got sun moving yesterday, and now like my skin is so itchy. About 30% move. I wouldn't put on hopes that it blasts through this trend or anything. The day is more interesting than I expected. It just had a golden cross on the day. That's actually kind of, I'd say it's actually kind of bullish here. Traded below it right before and you held the 200 day. Yeah, I think Others D has some bullishness in its short-term future. Peach, you know me too well, man. Indicating my next trades by my haircut. Ethereum. People are definitely DCAing into alts. I don't think it's a good idea. That's me. Ethereum looks bad. We did have a long here that filled. Like just about 2K. 1973. But it did not look good. This looks real bad. Here's the question. Could we drop to a 1950 today? And it does look like it wants 1950, doesn't it? Damn, that was the, like, why was that such a perfect entry? I don't even remember like why we put that there. 1950? Sure. Yeah. Why not? Why not? You've broken lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. I think 1950 is very likely. Today is always the hard question though. Like, you can always do that, right? The drop did kind of slow here. Few candles printing sideways. Blah. Where is the dominance going? Like Bitcoin dominance going down. Like what's gaining? What's gaining it? Ethereum, isn't it? and Ethereum the tiniest bit, tiniest bit, which does impact dominance, well, you know, heavily. Wait, market cap. Over the last 7 days, Ethereum's actually down more than Bitcoin. BNB is slightly less down, so BNB gained against Bitcoin in the last 7 days. XRP is down 7%, it lost. Solana's down 7%, it lost. Tron, weird. There's a name that I haven't chilled in a while. This is it. This is some of it at least. That's fire. Tron is moving. This is Tron BTC. This actually looks hella strong. Looks like it's trying to make a 20% move. What a weird chart. 30 cents. Ugh. Still playing. Tron, I'm sticking by it. Is one of the sleeperest coins going on. I don't know really anything about Tron fundamentally. I do know that I use Tron to send Tether, though I've been using it less because the fees have been going up. But Tron's probably my most used chain simply from sending Tether. And the chart. I mean, the chart has been goated. Chart's been goated forever. It's one of the strongest looking long-term charts in crypto. Maybe the strongest long-term chart in crypto. Look at that. That could also obviously end if it breaks down, but it has held this structure for its entire existence. Pretty wild. And that's kind of it. It's like Tron, and Tron is, you know, Bitcoin, most things are down about 6-7%. Tron is just like 0.7% up. It's like not really even doing anything, but it's gaining dominance simply by not falling. You have to continue down the list, and you have to get like down to like the 16th slot to see another green. That's a Leo token. I would never touch that. It's some exchange crapper. Stellar is up the most actually in the top 20 in the last week. God, it is such a slaughter fest, man. Bitcoin moving down. Oh, that looks really bad. $56K incoming. That's not a crazy target. I don't think it's gonna like happen like today or this weekend. I think what will happen is we'll close bearish today on Bitcoin, and then over the weekend we'll like chill around here, probably move up like 67, just back test the channel, similar to what we did before. Could take like all the way into April to see the move. XRP XLM, best experience you've had on chain. That's cool. You use TRX and Litecoin exclusively for moving funds around. I used to use Litecoin a lot. I stopped using Litecoin to move funds once Tether existed. Hype up. What's up? What's up, dog? Hype up you. Happy Friday. TRX stablecoin king. Man, you guys, I guess I've turned you into XRP or TRX shills. You know he was the crypto guy? Who? DGB? Oof. I mean, I still have all my DGB. I would love for DGB to do well. Just, man. Trump is live right now? No, he's not. Oh, maybe he is. He's always live, dude. The guy live streams more than I do. Delivers remarks to farmers. I ain't watching that. No thanks. Pass. Oh god, the White House has an app? Dude, what? Dude, history is gonna look back on this time. God, I hope that's not true. Friggin' head of the FBI's email was hacked today. Oh, there goes that. Like, my lord, but it's probably already all out there anyway. That's wild. We live in a clown world. Okay. It is Friday. You guys gotta make your plans. You gotta get your brews. I gotta make my plans, but I feel like my plans are gonna still involve more moving. Got derma roller. I've never experienced with them. No experience with the derma rolling. The simulation could be coming to an end. Those facts. What do you think Trump could say? A stock market's dumping? I mean, I'd have to assume that, nobody cares anymore what he says, because usually if he's saying something, it's a lie. I don't know why people care. But I don't know. Maybe we'll declare that we've won the war in Iran again, like 6 or 7 more times, and it'll be true. I don't know. It's all gibberish. It's all gibberish. To Jeremy. Who's Jeremy? Yeah, farmers are also very impacted by oil. A lot of people don't know that. All of the nitrates, like fertilizer, need oil. That's why the ethanol thing has always been such a weird concept to me. In order to grow the corn, to make ethanol, you use fossil fuels. It's not like you're not netting extra nitrogen. You're not netting more. It's just like a weird idea. Clearly made up by the oil industry. Clearly made up by the fossil fuel industry. I don't get it. And the farming industry to stabilize the price of corn. Just saw we were live. That's cool, Johnny. We're wrapping up anyway. What's up, Verhoofty? What's up, boys? Everybody's jumping in. This is like the time that we have been going live historically. Hey, we just got a bump in views. Yeah, 1 o'clock is usually when we go live. We've been going live early because I've been up at the gym moving. It's like, why waste the day? Might as well just go live. What's up, Craig? Same thing with Elon Musk and Dogecoin. Exactly. Although, honestly, it did. The effect waned, but it still was there. Elon Musk just stopped talking about Dogecoin. He stopped talking about Bitcoin altogether. He started talking about Dogecoin. Then he stopped talking about Dogecoin. And now he doesn't talk about crypto at all. He's a strange guy. He's a very strange guy. Your the hour only changes this weekend. Got it. But we've been going live earlier than an hour. Much earlier. That's silly though. We're just getting like a bunch of I wonder where'd you guys come from? Everybody tuning in. Is it just because it's 1 p.m? Maybe that means I should be going live at 1 p.m. Should be going live at this time because that's when everyone tunes in. YouTube Analytics disagrees, but I think I'm going to go with reality over YouTube Analytics. Analytics is like, well, your audience is mostly on at 11 a.m. and then they are like on until 1 p.m. and then they're not. Yeah, it goes from, and then 2 p.m. it goes from most of your viewers to many. downgrades. It says 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Ah, Lord help us. Lord help us, boys. Boys. After lunch break, true. And we've been going, we've gone live at 1 p.m. like for years. And then I've just been mixing it up. So it's on me. And daylight savings time messed it up. Yeah. Many things are to blame. Oh my. Well, my friends, it's Friday. I recommend you go grab a brew and buckle up. Probably going to close crappy across markets today. Likely Bitcoin, I think, will like float back up over the weekend. I'd be looking for a potential hedge short position on the corn. Trump is going to say something after markets close. He always does. Always says some kind of bullshit to manipulate the markets after they close on Friday. And we can just with almost full confidence assume that will happen today with the way major indices are looking to close. Certainly is going to say something ridiculous. Maybe that means we open up green on Monday. Be careful. Be careful. Try to have some fun. Enjoy some time. That's about it. Appreciate you guys tuning in. We're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, all the time for years and years. I will catch you guys soon. If something crazy happens on Corn, we'll probably be live over the weekend. If not, I'll be moving. And yeah, I'll be all moved in by Wednesday. I should be streaming from the new place, so wish me luck. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Have a good weekend. Crown out.